Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're here with us today. Look, if you're focused on optimizing your shop floor and finally eliminating those stubborn inefficiencies, you're in the exact right place. We're diving headfirst into the incredibly crowded, and let's be honest, sometimes totally confusing, manufacturing audit software market. We're breaking down the 2026 landscape to see what's actually working out there on the floor. Okay, let's dive into this. There's a quote that perfectly captures the chaos right now. Replacing an ERP just to get better counts is usually the wrong trade. We see manufacturers making this massive, incredibly costly mistake all the time. You know how it goes. They notice a variance in their inventory, panic, and suddenly they're ripping out and replacing a multi-million-dollar enterprise system just to fix a counting problem. Today, we're going to explore exactly how you can avoid that trap entirely. Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the core manufacturing audit problem, contrast inventory versus quality audits, review the top software contenders, map those tools to specific industries, and finish up with your ultimate buying guide. All right, Section 1, the manufacturing audit problem. Let's talk about the manufacturing gap. Because, let's face it, we're officially witnessing the death of the clipboard and spreadsheet in manufacturing. For years, audits basically meant a quality manager literally running around chasing down signatures with a piece of paper. But think about your operations today. You're running layered process audits across multiple shifts. You're coordinating quality checks across facilities in entirely different countries. Manual data re-entry, outdated spreadsheets, they just don't scale. They create this massive lag between what's actually happening on the floor and what your system reports. And that lag, that's literally costing you money. Plus, you've got to factor in the immense weight of modern compliance pressures. Whether you're dealing with IATF 16949 for automotive, AS 9100 for aerospace, or ISO 13485 for medical devices, man, the regulatory heat is turned all the way up. This is exactly why digital transformation budgets are moving away from paper so fast. When your actual certifications are on the line, picking your digital platform isn't just some routine IT decision anymore. It's absolutely business critical. Moving on to Section 2, inventory versus quality audits. We really need to understand this divide. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. On one side of the ring, you have inventory audits. This is verifying your physical stock, your raw materials, work in progress, finished goods. On the other side, quality audits are an entirely different beast. We're talking KPIs, ISO compliance, strict document control. Here's the thing. If your main problem is just needing to count parts accurately, buying a massive document control system is going to actively get in your way. Because for most of you watching, the real villain is this right here, inventory drift. This is that incredibly frustrating variance between the actual physical stock sitting on your shelves and the records just sitting in your ERP. Let's be real, for most day-to-day operations, inventory drift is the daily, bleeding-edge problem that needs solving right now. You need to get this under control long before you spend 6 months bolting on some massive new compliance module. Which brings us to Section 3, top software contenders. Let's break these down. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is that when we categorize the top tools by their actual strengths, a super clear picture emerges. For best overall and best for inventory, Stockount takes the lead. Need a massive enterprise ecosystem? MasterControl is your heavyweight. And if your focus is purely quality, QT9 QMS steps up. Just mapping these tools to their core strengths instantly shows you which neighborhood you should be shopping in. Let's zoom in on Stockount for a second, our inventory specialist. They take a completely different approach. Instead of building out from heavy document control, they start with the audit gap that's actually bleeding your daily budget, your inventory accuracy. What makes it such a game changer is that it's completely ERP agnostic. It works right alongside your existing system, whether that's SAP, Oracle, you name it, without requiring some massive, painful migration. Plus, it features offline mobile counting for those annoying Wi-Fi dead zones on the shop floor and uses barcode and QR scanning to just seamlessly close your inventory gaps. Now let's talk about the heavyweights. If your specific bottleneck is layered process audits, where multiple levels of management have to check the exact same process, Ezio is the absolute specialist there, especially for automotive and aerospace. But if you're a massive, heavily regulated life sciences company and you need one giant system across document control, training, and 21 CFR Part 11 compliant records, MasterControl is the dominant ecosystem. Just a heads up though, users consistently report a pretty steep learning curve. And of course, enterprise-level pricing. And speaking of pricing, let's anchor this in financial reality for a moment. $1,700. That's the estimated starting annual price for QT9 QMS. It's a modular, pre-validated quality management system.
So if you're a mid-sized plant aggressively pursuing ISO 9001 or AS 9100, but you're on a tighter budget, QT9 offers you that robust compliance functionality without that massive enterprise price tag we were just talking about.
Oh, and we definitely have to briefly mention safety culture, which you might know as Auditor. Think of them as the mobile generalist. They boast a massive library of over 100,000 templates, so they're incredibly fast to deploy if you just need basic safety and EHS checklists. However, and this is a big however, when it comes to really deep manufacturing-specific workflows, like those specialized layered process audits or dedicated variance tracking for inventory, they do kind of lack the depth of the specialized tools we just covered.
All right, Section 4, Matching Software to Industry. Let's look at sector-specific tools.
As you know, the manufacturing landscape is incredibly diverse. An automotive plant running cycle counts on thousands of components operates totally differently than a medical device manufacturer dealing with strict lot-tracked FDA documentation. Each of these sectors, from heavy industrial equipment all the way to precision electronics, requires highly tailored audit software that actually speaks their specific operational language. So, here's your consultative rapid-fire matchup. Automotive suppliers needing those strict TS 1699 layered audits? Your perfect match is Ezio. Aerospace manufacturers trying to nail down AS 9100 compliance documentation? QT9 is a phenomenal fit for you. Medical device manufacturers needing deep FDA and ISO 1345 traceability? MasterControl is your deepest specialist hands down. The trick is to match your specific regulatory standard right to the software's DNA. But actually, let me remind you of something absolutely crucial here. Regardless of your sector, whether you're making precision bicycles or highly complex aerospace components, there is one universal need. The most critical, daily metric that keeps your production lines moving is ensuring your physical parts actually match what your ERP says you have. Day-to-day stock count accuracy, that's the foundation literally everything else is built on.
Which brings us to Section 5, the ultimate buying guide. This is your playbook. So the crucial point is, before you pull out the company credit card, you must follow this step-by-step criteria. Step 1, identify where your variance is actually coming from. Is it raw materials or is it compliance paperwork? Step 2, confirm ERP compatibility. The tool should sit alongside your system, not force you to replace it. Step 3, require offline mobile scanning. Come on, shop floors rarely have perfect Wi-Fi. And Step 4, demand variance approval workflows. Auto-syncing every single count straight to the ledger, that just moves the error. You absolutely need a review step in there.
And putting on my no-nonsense consultant hat for a second, let me point out the major red flags you need to avoid. If a software forces you into disruptive, full physical counts instead of dynamic cycle counting, run. If they lack barcode or QR support, honestly, you're just paying for an overpriced digital spreadsheet. And definitely avoid tools that require weeks of configuration just to do a basic count. Instead, look for fast-deploying tools like Stockount that actually let you test the waters with a 15-day free trial. I want to leave you with a provocative question to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. What is your variance actually costing you? Every single time your ERP says you have parts that you physically don't, production stalls, expedited shipping costs soar, and your profits just bleed out. It is time to ditch the spreadsheets and finally confront those hidden operational costs head on. Evaluate your process, test the right software, and take back control of your shop floor. Thank you so much for joining me to learn today, and I'll catch you next time.